Hey YouTube, this is Spooky47 coming at you with another crypto and NFT video. Today we're going to be talking about surviving the crypto bear market. Over the weekend, Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies just got absolutely blasted. Everybody on Twitter is freaking out. So I just wanted to do a short presentation for you on what I think is the ideal strategy for this coming bear market. So there's basically 4 steps to quote unquote making it. And that starts with setting a goal. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you set a achievable, smart goal and how you develop a strategy and a plan for executing that. And then at the end, this is a cycle. You take those goals or profits, and then you reevaluate how am I going to reinvest or what is my next goal. So we're going to start out by talking about goal setting. I come from a military background, and during officer training, something that they beat into our heads was this idea of SMART goals, and that's an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So on the screen, I have a few different examples of what would meet that criteria. So the first one is my goal is to achieve $3 million US dollar exit by 2026 that will be invested in a diversified basket of assets yielding an average of 5% a year. I'll live off the income from that yield. So in that scenario, the person's goal is to basically take a capital gain. In other words, they make their $3 million in crypto, they sell it, they incur capital gains, and then from what's left, they'll be able to live off of that yield. And the second one, it's more of a cash flow oriented goal. So this involves, let's read it out. My goal is to earn $10,000 a month by 2026 through a combination of yield farming, staking rewards, and play to earn gaming. So in this scenario, the person is more focused on monthly cash flow than they are a capital exit. And then the third one, just for anybody who's involved in the building part of the crypto or NFT space, your goal might be to build a 10,000 item NFT set with an active Discord community, 100,000 Twitter followers, and a team of 10 people working for the project. So that would be another way to go about setting a SMART goal. So how do we go about achieving the goals that we set? So for this presentation, I'm going to use the example of somebody with the goal of getting a $100,000 crypto portfolio by 2026, which I know for a lot of you watching this sounds like a lot, but I'm going to show you how it would be very achievable for an average person in that amount of time. And what you have to do is start with where are you right now, both in terms of crypto as well as your fiat net worth. How much crypto do you have? How much savings do you have? What's your cash flow? What type of income do you have? And we're going to go over to the spreadsheet that I built. And if anybody wants it, just let me know in the comments and I'll hook you up with it just to take a look at what this might look like. So now on this spreadsheet, it may look a little elaborate, but what we're doing is we have a portfolio goal here, 100,000. I mean, you could change that to 500,000 if you wanted to. That would change the spreadsheet, but we're going to go with 100,000. And we're saying that the person has 0 cryptocurrency held. Now, of course, if they were starting with something, say they had 0.1 BTC, they had 1 Ethereum, then the amount that they needed will obviously change. But we're going to plug in 0 for these values. And then for future price, this requires some estimation. So think numbers that people are looking for on these in the next bull run or sometime in the future would be 100,000 BTC, 10,000 ETH. Personally, I have different price targets. I discuss that on my Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, I'm at Spooky47Crypto. And, I was doing some thinking on that, but it's a separate topic, a separate video. But you could go see that on Twitter if you want to. So now the other stuff is, all right, well, how many months do we have remaining? So in this case, this example, I'm just using 3 years, which comes up to 36 months. And that's kind of our time horizon for it. And then down here, I was just doing some stuff with yields, with the possibility of using different crypto yields to get you closer to your goal. Those percentages are terrible, but those are, what I would consider safe percentages over at Gemini. If you're not familiar with Gemini, that's the exchange run by the Winklevoss twins. So let's just start at the top, though. we don't have any crypto. We're zero, right? So if we think that BTC is going to be $100,000 and we think that ETH is going to be $10,000, but we want to be diversified in the sense that we're going to invest basically 50-50 in both for this asset allocation, which is not the only way you can do it. In fact, it's not the way I even recommend to do it. But for simplicity's sake, I just wanted to keep it to two different cryptocurrencies. And then, you could take this and modify it however you want it for whatever cryptocurrencies that you're bullish on, and change the way that you're doing your asset allocation. And in fact, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm going to do a whole video on asset allocation at some point. But we're just keeping it basic for this one. So in this scenario, with those price targets, we would need half a Bitcoin and 4 Ethereum to achieve our goal. Okay. Well, actually, no, this is messed up somehow. What did I do here? Oh, I see what I did. That should be D4. No. All right, so I had paused there to mess with this spreadsheet. I really don't want to mess with it while I'm in the middle of the video, so I just manually changed that. That told you what you would need, which changes this value, which means my slides are going to be slightly off, but you get the point. What we're trying to do is work out where we're looking to go with the price target that we have in mind and where we're currently at, okay? So, for in this example, you could basically buy the crypto bag that you need for just under $22,000, right? And that would be your $100,000 portfolio 3 years from now with these values. Now, of course, BTC could go higher, Ethereum could go higher, it could also go lower. So I recommend when you do these calculations, do them with a conservative type of mindset, okay? So if you overshoot your goal, that's great. But, you really don't want to come up short. And by being conservative about this, I think that's how you avoid it. So back to our slide presentation here. You know how much you need in a month. How do you generate it? Okay, so that starts with a budget. And your budget, I think people overcomplicate this. It's really simple. It's your income, your take-home income, minus expenses, and that equals the excess in your budget. That is the excess fiat currency that you could afford to invest into cryptocurrency. The other item of this is increasing income. Okay, for most people, unfortunately, the only source of income they have is their job, right? But there's other ways to do it. You can generate income through yield. You can generate income through side hustle. And we're going to look at what some possibilities are with that in this presentation. So next, we're going to plan the strategy and we're going to execute on that plan, okay? So if 100,000 is our goal and we need, let's say 5, and I know that spreadsheet was messed up, but let's just roll with these numbers. Let's say that we established that we needed $554 a month in combined BTC and ETH purchases. So in other words, take that amount, split it between the both, rain or shine, you're making that purchase. That's what we're doing for this example. So we're going to use our case study, Dave Wojak, who comes from the most average state in the country. I'm not making that up. I Googled it, and it said North Carolina, so we're rolling with that. I apologize if you're from North Carolina. Dave is 35 years old. He's a McDonald's general manager, and he is earning $57,566 a year. His take-home salary, which I ran that through a tax calculator, would be $36,004 a month. He lives alone in a one-bedroom apartment. He has student loan debt from his interpretive basket weaving bachelor's degree at Normie U, and he has a car loan. Dave also hasn't had a girlfriend since college. So in addition to that, he also lost his crypto wallet. It was stolen. Even though he knows a bit about crypto, he made some mistakes. Now he's starting from zero in June of 2022. Life is treating poor Dave hard. So let's look at Dave's budget. Dave, again, we said, has got a net income of $36,004. And here's his monthly expenses. He's paying almost $1,400 for rent, so that's eating a substantial amount of his paycheck. His utilities are $370. Food's a little high at $400 a month, just for himself. And then the student loan payment and the car payments are obviously really crushing him. I mean, that's almost $800 between the two of them. He wastes a little bit of money. He's got Netflix and he subscribes to some OnlyFans accounts. So he could probably trim his budget a little bit there. And Currently, where he's at, he's short just over $400 a month in terms of what he needs to be buying for crypto. So he doesn't have the excess in his budget right now. What is Dave going to do? The problem for Dave is that he can't make any more than he's currently making at his job. He's tried to get extra hours. He's tried to get a raise. It's just not happening. So he feels stuck. He has to figure out a way to make up that difference. He thinks maybe a quicker way would be trading. He doesn't have a very large amount of money to try to accomplish this seemingly enormous goal of $100,000. So if he could just make some quick trades, get a 20x, a 30x, then that might give him the big returns that he needs, right? But then he remembers that he was terrible at trading, and bear markets trend down, making it even more difficult. So while it was possible to get 10, 20, 30x on an altcoin during the height of this previous bull market, there were many such cases where I did that myself. In a bear market, things are a little bit different. The trend is your friend till the end, and that works in the opposite when we're talking a bear market. So we're not going to go into shorting the market. That's another option. But that is a very advanced trading strategy, and in my opinion, much more difficult than achieving your trading goals in a bull market. It's a lot easier in a bull market. So Dave decides to cut his expenses. So the first thing he did was he started using coupons, shopping sales at the grocery store. He was eating out a couple times a month, ordering Uber Eats. He cut all that off. He knocked his grocery bill down by $100 a month. So now his food expenses are $300. He also took a look at how he could save money on his bills. Well, his cell phone, he was paying $100 a month. He figured out that he could switch to a cheaper cell phone plan, and that saved him another $25. He also dumped his Netflix and his OnlyFans money that he was wasting money on, and now he just watches YouTube for free. So he saved another $50 there. So where are we at? He's still short about $234 a month. Even though Dave's still short, he's feeling pretty smart about himself though, because he's a bit closer to his goal now. So now that he's optimized his expenses, the next thing he decides is he's going to start side hustling. So friends of his do Uber and DoorDash delivery and things of that nature, but he realizes that gas prices are out of control, and that is not going to be an option for him. And time's also an issue. He's working 40 plus hours already, so it's not like getting a second job is something that appeals to him. He has to find something that he could balance with his job and do on a part-time basis, but also when he wants. Can't be something that he's expected to show up to on specific days or times. So he chooses eBay and Facebook Marketplace. That's where he decides he's going to try to make some money. And he doesn't know much about it. He's never done it before. But there is a ton of free content on YouTube that teaches him how to go about this, how to sell, how to optimize your listings, the do's, the don'ts, tips, tricks. It's all there for free. So he spends quite a bit of time looking into that before he even attempts to try to sell something. But he does take action. He doesn't wait around. And he decides he's going to sell stuff that he has already. He's not going to go looking for flips yet. He literally has stuff hanging around the house that he doesn't need that he could make money on eBay doing. So he has some old computer parts. He has a PlayStation 3 he doesn't play anymore, along with the games that went with it, and clothing that still has tags on it that don't fit him, that he bought 5 years ago and have been sitting in his closet. So he's going to start with selling that stuff. So as Dave is going through this process, eventually he's going to run out of his own stuff. But in the process of selling the things that he already had, he learned a lot. He learned a lot from YouTube. And he starts picking up free stuff on Craigslist now. He's going to start selling that stuff on eBay and on Facebook Marketplace. A lot of times people just want stuff gone, and they'll post it on Craigslist that it's free to take. He also reaches out to family and friends to see if they have stuff they want to sell. And in some cases, he offers to give them a little money in return for it. In some cases, they don't even want it. They just want to get it out of their garage or basement. He starts going to yard sales, and right on his phone while he's there, he's searching eBay to see what things go for. It's on eBay, you could actually search by sold listings. So if you found a typewriter, that's actually something I did years ago. I found like some antique typewriter, searched right there while I was at the yard sale. And I think the person wanted like $5 or $10 for it. And they were going on, I think I ended up actually selling that one on Amazon. And I think I sold it for like $120. I mean, that was the type of flips that you could find at garage sales and estate sales. The key is just to take a look before you actually purchase the item. And then when he's shopping, he's looking for sale prices and clearance items that can be flipped online. That was something I did many years ago when I was first getting started with generating income outside of my job. And I had found, I was with an ex-girlfriend at the time, and she had a good eye for makeup related stuff. And we found these, I forget what it was. It was some sort of organic makeup product, and they were selling them for like $2.50 at the store. And then I think I was selling it for like $25 online. It was absolutely crazy. And I think I went to every store within 50 miles after that, just loading up on all these clearance products until their supply ran out. So at this point, Dave is making $300 a month from his side hustle, and that's profit, okay, which he's keeping track of on a spreadsheet. And then now that he's met his goal, he's dollar cost averaging what he needs to into Bitcoin and Ethereum every month in order to hit that target that he has in mind for basically June of 2025, right? So he's continuing to learn and keep up on the latest crypto developments. He's watching YouTube while he's eating dinner there. But the lifestyle isn't easy, it's busy. He's busy. But he knows it's going to be worth in the long term. I mean, he's working the 40 hours a week at McDonald's, which really is more like 45 hours when you figure that he's having a commute. And then if he gets stuck working 15 minutes late, which is routine, then his side hustle is taking up about 15 hours a week. He's trying to do a good job on his sleep. He's sleeping 7 hours a night. But even with all that, there's still 52 hours a week that are free to him. So what's our man Dave doing with those extra 52 hours? Well, he started going back to his church. He's going there a couple hours a week to get involved, and he's meeting people. He spends an hour on Sunday nights planning his week, reviewing his goals. He's working out 3 hours a week, about a half hour a day. And he's also spending time with friends and family because it's important to not lose sight of the non-monetary things that are important. So that's about 8 hours a week, but that's still leaving him 38 hours a week still. There's a quote often attributed to Abraham Lincoln that I like, and it goes, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." I think that is a great quote, something that I think about often. How are you sharpening your axe in whatever it is you're passionate about, whether it's a side business, whether it's crypto, whether it's NFTs? What are you doing on a daily basis to sharpen your axe to build that skill set? Well, our man Dave is sharpening his blade. He's spending the extra time that was left over after all that stuff, after the grocery shopping and the doing of laundry. He's spending that time checking in on Discord on the projects he's interested in. He's plugged in on the crypto altcoins he's looking at. He's plugged in on the NFTs that he's looking at. He's reading white papers, even though the market is in the tank. He's studying and learning skills like trading so that he doesn't make the same mistakes that he did in the last bull run. And also so that he knows when it's time to start taking profits. That's trading isn't necessarily day trading. Trading is understanding technical analysis so that you make good, medium, and long-term decisions as well. It's not all about short-term trading. He's reading books, he's doing self-development, he's watching educational content to improve his side hustle and optimize his side business as well. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about crypto, it's about multiple sources of income. So Dave does this for 3 years, and November 2025 it happens. Bitcoin hits $100,000. Ethereum is around $10,000. What has Dave's life turned into? Well, he accomplished his goal and more. The market pumped harder and sooner than his conservative estimate. He achieved his 100,000 goal. He cashed out enough to pay off his remaining student loan debt. His car is finally paid off now, and it's still in working order. He's not getting a new one. He didn't go and blow his crypto profits on another car when he didn't need another car. He just needed something with four wheels that goes, and his car still does that. So he got rid of the car payment. He got rid of the student loan payments. His side hustle income that he has continued to build is now doubled to $600 a month profit. So that's going well. And Dave finally got a girlfriend. It was probably from the working out and self-development that he was doing that somebody finally took notice of him, and she moved in with him, and now she's paying half the rent. So that cut down on that. However, his miscellaneous expenses went up because obviously when you're dating someone, there's got to take them out on dates occasionally and, buy them nice things once in a while. So in addition to that, the cost of rent and utilities, that'll increase due to inflation. So numbers adjusted, though, Dave realizes that the current bull cycle is done and that he's planning for the next one. He retained $20,000 as basically his seed capital for crypto related activities. And now he also has $1,829 extra in a month in his budget for investing. So we reran these numbers with his girlfriend helping out with the rent, even though that went up, the utilities are up, miscellaneous is up, but his side hustle income is up. And most importantly, he got rid of his student loans, he got rid of his car payment. Now he has a lot more money to invest into crypto, as well as into his side business as well. So it's incremental progress. This isn't making it for everyone, but for a guy like Dave, I'm pretty sure he probably feels great without those loans hanging over his head. So I hope you enjoyed that case study. I feel like using a realistic example of just an average person kind of, I hope it inspires you. And I hope it makes you realize that whatever challenges you're facing, maybe you don't make as much as Dave. Maybe you have kids. It's all a math problem. That's all. You just need to run the numbers. A lot of people will sit there and complain, but they've never run the numbers. They don't even know how much income they have coming in. And if they do, okay, well, do they know what their expenses are? I don't think people keep a very good eye on their expenses. And that's part of the equation as well. So before you do anything, before you talk about making gains in crypto or NFTs, before you start thinking about a side hustle, get your budget sorted, decrease your expenses. Then you can talk about increasing your income. And I think during this process, it's important to have a schedule and manage your time. You need to be in this for the long run. You need a schedule that's sustainable. It's not something that, you work really hard for a month and then you give up. If your time horizon is 3 years, well, you need to figure out a schedule that you can realistically do for 3 years. And then in addition to that, you have to have a DCA plan, dollar cost average. How much money can you invest every month and can you stick to it? And it's a lot easier to stick to it when you have an emergency fund. So not to give like boomer Dave Ramsey advice here, but if you don't already have an emergency fund, if you don't already have a few months of expenses stacked up, that is important to do. That is the stuff that's going to let you weather the storms of life, whether it's a crypto crash or whether it's a transmission going in your car or whatever. It's important to take a holistic macro view of your financial situation. I think so many people just get caught up on the hype and the fun that is crypto, and they don't think about these kind of boring things that are really the building stones, your blocks for building upon to be successful overall. And during this bear market, continue learning, continue researching, watch YouTube, engage on Twitter, engage on Discord, and build that educational base. If there's skills that you're lacking, if you don't know how to do technical analysis on a chart, if you don't understand how to self-custody crypto, if you don't know how to operate on a decentralized exchange, learn those skills now. That way, when the market does pump again, when we inevitably get another bull run, and that might be years from now, you want to be ready to capitalize. And finally, just be patient. Patience is a virtue in this. The people who survive the bear market are going to be the people that never left, that stayed, that built their plan, their strategy, and executed upon it. Are you going to be one of those people, or are you going to be a person that walked away? And I can tell you, for me, I was a person that kind of hung it up after 2017. I was there for that bull run. I had made more money than I had ever seen, and then I watched it evaporate. I didn't take any profits. And in doing that, it was so discouraging, so disheartening. And I live with the regret of, what if I would have just done this plan that I outlined to you today? If I just DCA'd, I mean, forget everything else. If I had just DCA'd a little bit of extra income, my portfolio, even after this crash, would be far larger. So I hope this video encouraged you. If you have questions or comments, please leave them for me. And like I said, you can reach out to me on Twitter. I'm at Spooky47 Crypto. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Don't let this bear market get you down. We're all going to make it.